What is up, good people? Welcome to another edition of Scone and Tea.
Yo, what's up? We're live. What's going on, everyone? Back in the saddle again. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Very sad that I've missed y'all. Not just 1 week, but the last 2 weeks.
I'm not sad at all.
We are back.
I'm not sad at all. Regretfully back here with you on Wednesday nights. But I do have a bone to pick as we start.
Yeah, because you were intimidated by my low and outside breaking ball.
First of all, I want to say this. The Baton Rouge Rougarou.
Great environment. Excellent
Whatever,
environment.
don't give a shit.
It was super fun.
All right, Rougarou, Ronnie Rance,
Yep.
who is I would call and consider a friend.
A renaissance
Known
man.
Ronnie a long time. We have done radio together. We've watched games together. We've been on a little prop plane to College Station to watch a football game together. He has come on my show many times to talk baseball, to promote whatever it is he's promoted, because he's always promoting something. We've done events together at Greystone. We have done just an endless amount of stuff, me and Rougarou. And then I get a call sometime in maybe late May, early June from Rougarou, who says, hey, man, I need a favor.
Yeah.
I need you to put me on your show every week until, like, the beginning of August. Not, hey, I need to do a segment to promote this thing that's coming up. It's like, I need you to make me a part of your show for the next month and a half.
Yeah, dude.
And you know what a good friend I am? I said, all right, Rougarou, I know nobody really deeply gives a shit about collegiate summer league baseball, but they love you, and if you can have a good time in Baton Rouge and create a good environment, which I believe he did at the Rougarou.
Definitely did.
People will get down. I said, we can make this fun. You know, you come on, we'll talk some Tigers, we'll talk whatever, we'll have some fun, and mix therein, we can throw out the Rougarou mentions, and we're not breaking down Rougarou ball, but I'm going to do it for you, Rougarou. That's what I'm going to do.
Playoffs.
And you know what Rougarou said to me? He said, yeah, it'd be great. We'll get you out, throw out the first pitch, yada, 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 blah. Well, the last game of the season was last night. You know how many times I got to go throw out the first pitch? Fucking none. None.
Man, I'm going to go out on a limb. If you had volunteered to go, I'm sure you could have thrown the first pitch.
Beside the point.
No, it's actually the entire point. You're mad about something that you literally could have done.
Not the point. I don't need to ask someone, hey, can I throw out the first pitch? That's first things first. Anyway, Rougarou calls me yesterday. He's like, hey, man, last game, Coach, can I come on to promote the – I was like, of course, Rougarou.
Yeah.
You're my guy. Come on. And then I'll be damned. It's every promotion you can think of. It's fucking fireworks.
It's Bark at the Park
Night
night. Fireworks got rained out, but still. It was like 225 wrestlers were there.
Yeah, dollar
kids
beer.
Run the bases, 2-for-1 beers.
Someone's getting $1,000 for the most
50-50 raffle.
A youth league team. Like, every promotion. I mean, they emptied the bag.
Yeah.
Emptied the bag.
Well, they had 7 home games canceled.
Got it. Emptied the bag. And you know what Rougarou says, throwing out the first pitch for the final game of the season is T-Bob Hebert.
And you know what the funniest part about that is? He never told me that. I showed up 10 minutes for the game started. He's like, hurry up, you got to throw the pitch. I was like, what the fuck, dude, what? I can't throw. I can't even throw a football 20 yards anymore. I have 2 labrum surgeries.
Well, I'll tell you this. I told Rougarou this on the air. I said, I guarantee this, and I'll bet any money about anything. I said, I'll bet anything you want. Anything. Not any amount. Anything. Anything you want, I'll bet that T-Bob Hebert does not throw a strike. There's no shot he throws a strike. And lo and behold, you did not
pay the money.
You did not disappoint in that respect.
That was an eephus pitch for a strike. What the fuck are you talking about?
I will give you credit to this end, and you can go to T-Bob's Twitter account to see said first pitch. I'll give you credit that you went from the bump, because a lot of people are total.
You think I'm not going to go from the fucking
A lot
bump?
of people won't. A lot of people will go from the front of the mound.
Dude.
So I will at least bare minimum give you credit for going from the bump. I will do that. But you completely lack confidence in your leg kick, the delivery, and the follow-through. It was a miserable attempt at a first pitch.
No.
I give you a 4 out of 10, and the only reason I go that high, the only reason is because you went from the bump. If you hadn't been from the bump, you'd have been at a 2.
First off, first things first. Look, I don't claim to be able to throw the ball anymore. I literally cannot throw a football mat over 20 yards anymore.
Don't care.
I have to arc this thing 70 yards in the air to get it to go 20. Like, my shoulder is fucked.
Got it.
I had 2 labrum surgeries. I'm not Drew Brees. I did not rehab like Drew Brees to still be able to throw a football, so I can't throw for shit. All of a sudden, he's telling me I got to throw. I have to throw so, like, elbow heavy. Like, I can't put any torque on my shoulder.
Elbow.
Yeah. So that was why I did it. I didn't want to get over-involved in my leg kick and fucking launch it into the ground. My goal was to just keep it in the air, keep it in the strike zone, and I did just that.
Well, it was a dog shit first pitch, but I'll give you this.
I'll give you this,
but listen to me.
It like broke at the last second.
It was not a slider. It
would have jammed up a lefty. A righty would have chased.
You're a vagina.
It was an 0-2 pitch.
It was an awful pitch.
It was an 0-2 pitch.
It was an awful pitch.
No, dude.
It was terrible. By any measure, nobody swinging at that. It was terrible. You probably hit a left-handed batter, to be clear.
No way.
Absolutely way.
It was
but I
right
will
off
give you
the
credit
plate.
for this. I will give you credit for this. I think you found your calling. You need to walk the fuck out of here right now. You need to not do radio, and you need to go wrestle.
Bro, I'm getting involved in this 225 wrestling shit.
I don't deny that at all. I don't doubt that at all.
I need my revenge on that commie bastard Vladimir Koloff. Here I was introducing him, middle of the 6th inning, getting the crowd hyped
so that
up.
was during the game.
Yes, and I was viciously assaulted.
So T-Bob is down the third baseline in foul territory, mic in hand and some sheets of paper, and all of a sudden, as he's introducing this guy with a mask who looked like a pear, he was a pear. I mean, the way he was shaped. In no way is he convincing at all. He was terrible too, by the way. He throws an elbow in the back of your neck, and I'll give you credit because it had all the elements. It had the element of surprise. Yep. Nobody saw it coming.
Yep.
That's number one. Number two, you sold the hell out of it. I mean, with the whiplash, the mic goes in the air, the papers go in the air, and then
key. The papers are such a nice addition.
But also, the other part of it is you laid out for the entirety of the skit.
Dude, I was knocked out.
I get it.
I was knocked out. I was hurting.
And it was one of those things where you just kind of like slowly start to move your body again, and you writhe in pain, and then you kind of, and as it's all happening, and like,
chicken and waffles.
And the Rougarou mascot steps over you and gets the finish and all that stuff.
My eyes are closed.
Well, I'm telling you, you sold the hell out of it, and quite honestly, you looked the part.
Hell yeah,
I mean, you even had a costume on. I mean, you went in a costume, a wrestling costume.
I feel like I have always thought, ever since like, I don't know if you know who Kevin Owens is. I'm not a huge wrestling guy anymore. I loved it growing up. Now I get it through osmosis. But, like, Kevin Owens looks like me. Like, same body type, same weirdly non-connecting mustache and beard and everything. And he had a moment where he was over and people fucking loved him. And I remember thinking, like, God damn, dude, I think I could have done that. And I've always wanted to get in a ring. I've always wanted to bounce in the rope. So I'm definitely taking advantage of this to do it at some 225 wrestling event.
I just can't. And the crazy thing is, you actually physically fit. You're a giant man.
Yeah,
you're a giant. You were bigger than the weak pear man. Who, by the way, the way that ended with him with the chair was so weak.
The thing is, dude, you know what I can do?
They poke him in the stomach, right?
Yeah.
And so he doubles over. They hit him on the back, and when he hit him on the back, he does the and like stands up.
Yeah,
and then instead of getting hit in the head, he leans over again, like, okay, hit me in the back again.
Yeah, I kind of would have wanted a headshot.
What's that guy's name?
Vladimir Koloff.
He's a piece of shit. He sucks.
Nah, he's awesome, dude.
He might be a nice guy.
He gave a good
terrible.
forearm, dude.
He's terrible. That guy's awful. The worst. I told Muse the better thing would have been if he taps you, you turn around, he takes a swing, and you duck under it, and then you give him like the big people slam.
The thing was, no, that could have been cool, but the thing was, though, I really wanted to take a bump.
That's fine.
I'm very good at taking bumps. Like, I've been practicing my entire life.
But it would have been way better if you had flipped it on him as the amateur guy and the LSU football player, partisan crowd, getting a finish on him. That'd have been phenomenal. Instead, the heel wins and everybody's booing him.
I'm very good at doing flips and stuff. My dream is to do a backflip off the top turnbuckle into a pin. I don't know how much training that takes, but I'm going to try to make that happen.
You would probably murder somebody.
I'm going to try to make that happen, dude.
You would fall on somebody and kill them, and it will not be
me. Mean, dude, what do I do, like a fucking elbow drop off the top? That should be so tight, dude.
As we are here live at Oliver Twist on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, just past 7 o'clock Central Time as we record.
Also, the other detail before we move on, and I remember this from wrestling growing up. I always loved it.
What's to say I was moving on?
Is when the mic hits the ground.
Awesome.
You know that they're like.
So it just passed 7 o'clock Central Time here on the eve of the start of LSU football camp.
Yeah!
The first camp under Brian Kelly, and here we are talking about your miserable first pitch and bad pro wrestling. Do we even call this pro wrestling? I don't even think it's pro wrestling. Amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Those guys were awful.
No,
Who's the
disagree.
guy in the jeans, the bald-head guy in the jeans?
Bro, you don't want to fuck with Mustang Mike. He'll fuck you up,
Mustang Mike was terrible.
He will fuck you up, dude.
Terrible.
He's been in this game for a long time. That said, I'm excited to one day, I don't know if it's going to be this fall or spring, whenever we can line it up, I will have my revenge on Vladimir Koloff. Okay, let's be painfully clear about that. You took a cheap shot, you commie bastard, but I'm coming for you. I mean, I've said it. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You cannot trust a hammer and sickle, Matt. It's just basic human truth.
Okay, so we're here at Oliver Twist.
Put me on the mic.
If you're watching or listening on demand, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Facebook, like the 104.5 ESPN page, and please share this post. If you're watching live, thanks for being there. Drop your comments.
Look, my buddy Sam Lemoyne texted us. He's drinking some Old Elk with us.
Fantastic. Every week when we're here at Oliver Twist, the guys, that's what I was about to introduce, the guys offer up a break-even bottle, so they take a rare or allocated whiskey. They offer it at what is their break-even price for pours while we are here. Today it is Rougarou. This is 17-year juice.
Whoa.
So it's age stated, so it means this was in the barrel for 17 years before they bottled it. That
almost legal.
That is...
In Louisiana? Is that legal?
I'll start pouring for you so you don't steal all of their good booze.
Hey, what's up, man? Wolfman Jack here, bringing you live here on a Wednesday night at Oliver Twist. Come on, everybody out there, let's have a great night tonight.
Savage and Cook, the weird thing about them, or interesting thing about them, their owner's a guy who's like a gazillionaire. He had a winery. He's also an artist. So he's made so then he decided he wanted to do whiskey. So his original bottles, things like Burning Chair, they're in these like very like black opaque bottles with his art on the outside. This is the first clear bottle I've seen them do, but Rougarou, it's 17-year juice, and it's $10 a pour while we're here. So come get into this because
the break even is $10 a pour.
The break even is $10 a pour.
So this is an expensive boy.
Yes, it's 17-year juice.
Holy shit!
You don't very often see whiskey that's aged 17 years.
What happens when it gets to 18?
I might be oakier.
Can you fuck it? Look at this. Welcome to Munivez. Enjoy y'all's show on an oil rig 200 miles in the Gulf right now. Let's go, dude.
So LSU's going to open up camp tomorrow. All right, I always have so I've covered LSU for as long as, my first season covered the team was 07. So that was your freshman year.
Yeah.
So I've been to camp how many seasons is that? What am I on now? 15? Something like that? So it's been a lot. So I always have my impressions of what I look for, what I think is important in camp. You played. What do you think is important in camp?
Let me think about this.
And I mean the first 2 weeks. Because after 2 weeks is when you kind of start to transition into like you're preparing for your opponent now.
So I guess it's tough to say, like, or do you mean what do I think it's important in camp from like what we as media members get to see? Because
no, as a player.
Okay. What is this, by the way? The chicken and waffles, baby.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Chicken tenders and waffles.
I was at the Rougarou game last night, Brad David. A lot of fun. Last game last night, but next year, it's a great family environment, Rougarou game is. That's the main point. You can take your kids. They've got beer. They've got cone eyes. They've got jumps. Like, it's really fun. Whatever.
Alex Barnes said, I feel bad for Matt.
This is where...
Somebody feels my pain. Thank you, Alex Barnes. Thank you.
It's a bad take, Alex. You could have hit the broadside of a Barnes with that take.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the time, Matt. Spring, summer, everything we've talked about up to this point, I'll go back to my original analogy. It's all been qualifying. It's all been for pole position. It's all who has the lead going into the race. The race actually begins now. And so, like, and I got to be clear, I don't care where you are on the depth chart, you can earn your way up. You just have to play better than the person in front of you. And so the main thing as a player right now is, reps in some positions are going to be limited and other ones are going to be more extended. Look, you just have to make the most of your reps. And I would say this during camp. The keys to surviving in camp and thriving in a camp are, number one, do not focus on the big picture. If you sit there and constantly think about how for the next 3 weeks you're going to be doing football from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night, you will get overwhelmed by it. You will get intimidated by it. And if you think about the fact that during those 3 weeks and those long days, you are going to decide your future. Like everything you've worked for your entire life is to get playing time in college football. If you don't do that, then what the fuck are you running 110s for? What the fuck are you doing all of this bullshit for? It's all to play in the fall. So, like, if you allow yourself, though, to engage with too much of these stakes in this time, it can be overwhelming. So the ultimate camp number one tip is to, it's very cliche, but it's very true. It's to keep the blinders on and literally just focus on the task at hand. Like, whatever you're doing at that time on the day. And really, it's a football golden rule in general. One snap and clear, okay? I don't care if you had a bad play the last play. I don't care if you had a good play. It doesn't fucking matter. You have to do good the next play, no matter what. And then the other key, I would say, is try to avoid, as much as you can, making the same mistake twice, right? Like, coaches don't mind you fucking up. When they get pissed is when you fuck up. It's like anything else in life. Like at a workplace, somebody fucks up something new, you're like, okay, we're learning, right? Yeah. That's we're working through it, workshopping. You fuck it up twice, so it's like, what are we doing? Like, come on. And then you fuck it up 3 times and you're done. Like get the fuck out of here. So focus on the task at hand. Don't make the same mistake twice, and then just go fucking hard, dude. Go to the whistle. Okay, admittedly, Trevor Penning,
nobody here is playing in camp.
Well, like there might be some high school kids, or maybe there's somebody who has kids in high school going to camp, and these are all lessons that work on any level of football. So I'm just giving, like you said, I'm giving the player's perspective here.
It's more about like competitively, are you like trying to win a job?
Yeah,
the first day.
Sure. No, every day. That's what I'm saying. Every fucking rep, you are trying to win a job, and you have to approach it that way. I started 3 years at LSU. I never entered camp as a starter, not even my senior year. Like every single year, I was second on the depth chart. And now
DJ,
1 year,
Lonergan.
Yes, I beat him out 1 year.
Brett Helms.
Helms when I first got there,
and then Lonergan. Yeah,
and then Lonergan. And then I beat him out, and I got that. And then the next year, I would not have started, but literally, I wasn't starting going into the season. And Will Blackwell broke his leg on the first play against UNC, and so I ended up playing the whole game. That's another lesson about staying prepared and being ready, right? I had never played that guard before, and I fucking played the whole game. And
I forgot about Blackwell breaking his leg.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then
that whole game was crazy. That whole day was crazy.
Again, I wasn't started, and I earned the right guard spot. So it's like, again, you can, and I remember being pissed. I was fucking salty as hell, man. I was really pissed a couple of times when that first meeting day, because they do the old military thing where, I don't know if they do anymore, but we used to seat you even in your position rooms. The starters are in the front row, second string, third string, and I was fucking pissed to be in that second row. But whatever, processed it, got over it, and I just used that anger when I was out in the practice field to go fucking hard. And it's like I'll never forget. And I normally don't like to talk about my playing experience like this, so I apologize. But I'll never forget. So Blackwell goes down, I get put in the game, and we win. We're watching film that Saturday or Monday, and there's this one play at the very beginning where I took a guy, and even though I was on the backside of the play, I drove him 20 yards downfield, just didn't stop, right? Just going fucking as hard as I could.
Who was it?
And it was some North Carolina guy, just some slappy. And
this wasn't in practice.
No, this was in the game.
Okay.
But in film, Stud was look, dude, he's young guys, that is why I trusted him to play. I knew he would know his shit, but it's that effort, that's what I want to see. It's why I actually love what I'm seeing out of Trevor Penning. Admittedly, he maybe needs to dial it back a little bit.
I love it, dude.
But I fucking love it, dude. He's playing to the whistle. He's playing hard, front side, backside, does not matter. And so those would be my keys to camp. If you want, those are keys to what we just talked about. If you want to win the job, in my experience, those are things you have to do. Focus on the task at hand. Try to avoid making the same mistake twice, and just go fucking hard. Go balls to the wall, dude.
Rodney Frost said, I've never heard so many F-bombs ever. You should watch the fucking Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Also, this is
welcome to the show, guys.
This is
I'm sure you're new,
but this is whiskey and wine. Yeah. This is how it is.
We're drinking. It's just guys at the bar talking. So if I get it, it's not for everybody. But if language offends you, I agree. Whatever.
I agree. I don't care. Just turn it off. Just turn it off.
So, by the way, I really wish you would lean more into. When you played, it probably I can understand why you feel it's just some Glorious Day bullshit, but that matters, man. That's your differentiator. It does matter because I don't have that perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather hear that from you, because anything else is shit that I could say or anybody could say.
But I also feel that sometimes people use it as a crutch, and I think that sometimes
But you're not saying, listen to me because I played. If you didn't play, you don't matter. That's not what you're saying. You're adding context to it, to an example, which matters.
Well, okay, that's good to hear, because I guess I feel like I never want to be that guy that is trying to play some, like, oh, you never played. It's like Caroline Fenton never played SEC football. Caroline Fenton knows way more about the SEC than I do.
She's awesome, yeah.
Watching her and Jake go toe-to-toe, I felt like a referee. They're naming all these different fucking players, and I'm like, what are y'all talking about right now? They're like arguing over South Carolina's roster. I had to break him up. I was like, all right, let's get it on.
So Caroline, by the way, is an LSU Manship alum who interned at ESPN and now does afternoons in Nashville and hosts the Locked On LSU podcast. So, I mean, like, when I handed off Locked On, I handed it off to Caroline. She's a baller.
Yeah,
like,
she's awesome.
It was like, Caroline, you need to do this. So,
but I guess that's my point, is that I hate when, and I've seen this a lot, where players will get into a debate with someone like that, and they will fall back on, well, like, oh, well, you mean you don't really know, or like trust me,
I agree.
I agree. Trust me, I played the game.
But I don't think that's what you're doing. There's a difference between essentially having your trump card be I played, you don't know shit, and then adding context and color to something you're trying to describe, which does matter, because that's something that you can do that we can't. Like the story about, like, the guys sit where you sat in the meeting rooms. As long as I've covered LSU, I've never heard anybody say that. Yeah. Like, that's how y'all sat in meeting rooms. I never had to go in a meeting room. You gotta
love the, like, subtle mind games that take place. Like the other thing they do in the team meeting room, right? And it's funny, I actually saw Terrence Tolliver tweeting about this. He saw a picture of the team meeting room, and he goes, man, and he was like, man, I remember sitting in the front of those meetings. It was like, when you were a freshman, you started in the way back of the room. You got older, you got up. And then it even was the point where, like, the better you got, the closer to the middle you got, right? So, like, age and worth.
Competency,
yes. And then if you were sitting front center, you're like, okay, I fucking made it, dude.
So, all right, that's perspective. I'll tell you, so from a different perspective of looking at fall camp, I don't know that from the bit we would see. So keep in mind with Les also, when you played, it was very different, because Les would give us like 10 minutes.
Bro, we had Frank on this morning. He cracked a couple Les jokes.
Everyone could crack Les jokes.
He was talking about the Tennessee game. He was like, for some reason, we subbed. And then he was talking about Cam. He was talking about, like, Les was a notorious walkthrough motherfucker. We spent so much time walking through. And he was even joking with that. Anyway, sorry. That just popped in my head.
No.
But no, Les didn't let us see shit in the media.
Les was scarred because when he was at Oklahoma State, he had a player that had injured a hand or something like that, and it got out in the media that week, and whoever they were playing just hammered that player on that. Like, they made it an intention.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So Les's thing was always he was never going to let anything out through the media. You remember when speaking of Tennessee, y'all went to Tennessee in 2011?
Yes.
And I think it was Lonergan who was hurt. And
he might have been hurt at the time.
I think
because I think I ended up playing center that game.
That was the game where y'all had like a 92-yard drive where you ran it like.
The defense played 13 plays the second half. They were cracking up at us.
But you wonder why John Chavis' defense is rated so highly. They were never on the field. But like PJ, we kept asking all week, Les, can you give us an update on PJ? He's like, oh, yeah, no, it's good. He's good. Not only did he not play, motherfucker didn't even get on the bus to the airport. He didn't travel. But it's like that was what it was like. Les was never going to give anything out. So we got these little bitty increments. So we would get to watch practice until there was one injury. Because people would always go and take roll, right? Yep. Who's there, who's not. It's like the first thing you do. Who's there, who's not.
Well, and it's like when you're watching individual, like what the fuck else are you supposed to do?
But that's the point. Yeah. So like the little tidbits that we'd get to see were never significant enough. So what I would always look at is, all right, like who's running in what order, because that generally does matter.
That does matter.
And then also I would look at the freshmen, because you could always tell physically, there was always some bastard who showed up and was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I remember Anthony Johnson. I remember secretly being intimidated by just his pure physical appearance when he was like 18.
I could run through the list of guys. Patrick Peterson, when he walked on campus, he looked like a linebacker playing corner as a freshman. It was like, that's the kid from Florida. And, I'm not a recruiting guy, so I'm not watching huddle highlights or anything. Terrence Tolliver, when he showed up as a freshman, it was like, Jesus Christ, that kid's a tree. Like, who? Just throw it up.
Who's snug?
He was incredible. Corey Thompson, If you remember the year where Landon Collins picked Bama, LSU needed a safety, so they got Corey Thompson ended up playing like 6 years. Was injured, but anyway, Corey flipped from A&M to LSU, and Corey was an Adonis. Like if he had stayed healthy, he still made it in the NFL. Like I think he transitioned to linebacker, played with the Bills and shit. But like if he had been able to stay healthy, Corey would have been Corey Thompson. CT 12. He actually interned with us at Guarantee as well. Great dude, smart guy. Was always in the playbook in the film. But
right after my time.
But there's always guys like that who show up right away, and you're like, oh, I can tell. So I'm gonna be curious to see which freshmen.
Corey Thompson's still in the CFL. Ottawa
he's
Redbacks.
Still playing.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
I'm telling you, like how old is he? Corey's got to be 30.
He's born in '93, so about to be 30.
29. Okay, but I'm telling you, like he's just the first day you looked and you're like, shit. I'll tell you, there's another guy who didn't pan out was Shamari Clemens, who was a linebacker from West Virginia.
West Monroe.
West Virginia, West Monroe. Like Shamari Clemens looked. I mean,
Shamari was a good dude. He had some off the field stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's why I didn't pan out. But he would. But so that's what you can always tell with those guys. Like, so I'm interested to see some of the freshmen. I'll tell you, like I'm interested to see Harold Perkins, who's a 5-star linebacker. I think linebacker is a spot where there's snaps to be won. I didn't get to go to practice during the spring.
I didn't either.
So I didn't get to see Will Campbell. Definitely curious. And then like a dude like Emory Jones from Catholic High. You know, EJ is, I mean, he's a highly rated prospect. There are every job on the offensive line is up for grabs.
So you're hitting on what to me is one of the most fascinating parts about this camp, which is like, and during camp time, a lot of times I can't escape it because we're covering Saints and LSU. You just see analogs, right? And it is interesting, right? New left tackles potentially for both. But they could not be more different in that the Saints maybe have one starting job up for grabs.
But it's the NFL.
Kind of insane. But it's still never. It's not normally that secure. I agree with you. It's different. But like the Saints maybe have one, which is even low for NFL standards. LSU has every job like
on the line,
like on the team. Like Keyshawn Butte's wide receiver 1, who's 2 and 3, who are the middle linebackers. I mean, we think we know the defensive line, but I think Alec Gay and B.J. Ojolari, you would say those are settled.
And then Mason Smith and Jaquelin Roy are starting tackles. Your starting defensive line is there.
Mekhi Wingo wins that Iron Tiger award
and he'll be part
day.
of the rotation. But I talked to Wingo on air this week, and he even told me like his specialty is interior pass rush. I think he's going to be
a third down.
He's going to be a rotational guy. It's like, hey, go blow up the launch pad. You know, I think that's going to be his role on this team. I am fascinated by Baskerville. I mean, Baskerville's the only linebacker you have that actually has skins on the wall. He was running third team in spring.
But they love Mike Jones.
I know, and they love Mike Jones, but Mike hadn't been able to do it. And Mike's great. He's personal. I hope he works out very well. But like Baskerville is the only one with skins on the wall.
Ironically, Mike did play well at the end of last year, but it wasn't at middle linebacker. It was at that outside line. It was at 3-4 outside linebacker.
Mike came to LSU. Remember talking to him
to play middle.
Because he was playing the Isaiah Simmons role at Clemson, the overhang linebacker, sort of nickel linebacker role. But he knows if you're going to be making the NFL, you got to be a 3-down linebacker. You got to go play inside. So he wanted to go and Venables had his role for him at Clemson. So he came here to be a Mike, and he got beat out. And oh, by the way, Damone Clark had 135 fucking tackles last year. No wonder why he got beat out.
Blake Baker did a great job with that.
Yeah, I don't know that that's as much an indictment on Mike as it is a compliment to Damone in the season that he had. But yeah, I agree. Kerry Hughes said Russell Shepard. See, one of the stories that I always tell is, you know, when Russell came in, and he was the class of, so he was a year after you.
Yeah. I love Russell. One of my good friends.
Awesome.
Not a quarterback.
No. But like they recruited him
as a quarterback.
And they were like, look, we're going to give you a shot. And I've told the story before, so if you've heard it, forgive me. But the way that they would do the quarterback drills is they would all be in a line, and it was Jordan.
It would have been Jordan. Jarrett was Garrett from Mississippi. Doesn't matter, but yes. He had a hot girlfriend. He was good looking.
Was his first name Garrett or last name Garrett?
I'm blanking right now. I'm like you. I just remembered Garrett.
The kid from Mississippi.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's gonna hit me anyway. And then and then Russell.
Yeah.
And so like they would all throw the same route, right? So it would be like Jarrett, boom. Jarrett had a great arm. Jarrett Lee had an amazing arm. Jordan, boom.
And Jordan could sling it too. Like Jordan had a great arm. Yeah, for sure.
Josh Garrett? No.
Josh Garrett. That is absolutely it. That is absolutely it. It's Josh Garrett, dude. 100% it's Josh Garrett. You're right. Good call, dude. Nice pull. But Josh Garrett could also sling it.
Yeah, he could absolutely sling it. Just boom. And then Russell was like, it was like, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, day one, I was like, oh shit, he's never going to play quarterback in the SEC.
No,
like ever. I mean, and it was plain as day. I'm no talent scout or anything like that, but it was impossible not to know that. That's your cheering section over there?
Those are my boys. Those are my neighbors in my neighborhood. That's Ben and Amanda. They're great people. Ben Roussel, he's a big fisherman. He just texts me creepily, I see you, and then I look up, and there he is.
There he is.
No, but you're right. Roussel. I mean, Matt, you are absolutely right, though. I love Russell to death. He's one of our good friends. He was roommates with Blackwell Durasic for years. He was not a quarterback. In fact, Russell had a pretty fascinating football experience where you want to talk about wasted talent. They did not take advantage of him. I mean, this is a man who ends up playing 8 or 9 years in the NFL, who ends up becoming a special teams captain. But yeah, they should have. But even then,
he was a good receiver for the Giants, for the Bucks.
Yes.
Like he played receiver.
But I'm saying in college, he also got screwed because even when he played receiver, our offense did not take advantage of having all these NFL wide receivers.
And you had a whole bunch of NFL wide receivers, and he was just a guy transitioning to the position.
Oh, that's fair too. I guess I never thought about that.
Where you had so many guys. And it was like every time he was on the field at receiver, they knew you were running a jet sweep to him.
He had a lot of success on that.
Same with Trendon. I mean, it was the same thing. You knew it was a gadget play when he was on the field. So I am going to be interested also to see a lot of the transfers. Look, we haven't even done a show yet since we didn't do the show the week of media days, and you weren't here last week. By the way, shout out Will Stout, who came and sat last week. It was so much fun dude, it was so much fun just to talk about 19 and him putting together the hype videos, and it was a really cool like one-off convo. And he's such a baller. He's doing all the hype videos for Shelton Sampson right now. So Shelton Sampson, the 5-star?
Yeah.
He's making his announcement on Saturday.
I know, and Shelton's hyping it up.
So
he's tickling everybody's balls.
So
Florida State shows me love. LSU shows me love.
So Will is doing a hype video, or Shelton, I guess, or whatever, hired him to do a hype video. So he's doing one for each of his 4 finalists. So he dropped Florida State and Bama, so then A&M and LSU. So he's dropping a hype video. So don't be alarmed when you see like a Shelton Sampson Alabama hype video.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing one for all of his finalists.
So part of the plan.
And they'll announce. It's pretty brilliant, though. It's really brilliant marketing.
It is brilliant marketing. It's kind of interesting to me, though. I always wonder, like, and you know what? You know what's funny, though? In the past, there was no real justification for just wanting more eyeballs on your commitment. I could see the argument now that in the NIL era, that could be a metric that you point to and be like, look, I managed to generate X amount of views and interest in my commitment. Like, my brand carries weight. Like, you should pay me. So it's not completely baseless now, I think, to do that, but it is kind of funny stuff.
Do you want to, by the way, thank you for watching. If you're there on YouTube, smash the like button. Drop your comments and questions, because we will wrap up the show like we do every show with a little Ask Us. You can get your questions in. And as always, if you're watching live, if you're watching on demand as well, we appreciate you for being there as well. Do you want to do a bit of because we haven't got to do it, a bit of an SEC Media Days sort of retrospective, any takeaways or anything like that?
We could. I don't know that I had any terribly great takeaways. I feel like the main things that I was kind of interested in, I still find Greg Sankey's opening presser to be one of the more interesting parts, just because you can really feel the power exuding from Sankey nowadays. And it's like, in terms of power players in college football, like, he can almost boss around anyone, maybe save for like Nick Saban, and even then he can kind of like go head-to-head with Nick now.
He got Nick and Jimbo in line real quick after
That's what I'm saying, right? Exactly. And then when he first got the job, that was not the case. And so now he's up there. We already are a super conference. He's talking about contiguous geography and everything. And so I thought that was intriguing. I also thought that he was kind of intriguing, like, look, we're going to pump the brakes on some of this expansion. And it's an interesting foil to Kevin Warren being out there and being like, nah, man, we're open. Like, we're recruiting. Like, I'm not going to be left behind. Like, we're going for this shit. And so, yeah, I thought Sankey was interesting. Outside of that, I love media days because you get to interview all these interesting people. And I love the networking aspect of it. Like, I love drinking with people. That's super fun.
How drunk were you?
The last night?
The last night.
I don't remember the last 30 minutes. It's not good. It's not good. I spilled champagne everywhere.
Have you done the thing where you go back and think about everything you drank? I'll do that sometimes. Like when I wake up, if I have, I'm like, God, did I really drink? And then you start like piecing it together. Like, it's
your fault.
Oh,
you gave me your shitty tequila shot after I had just taken a shitty tequila shot. We drank sake all night. Then we're drinking beer, and then somebody bought a round of shots at the bar, and then you gave me yours, and then I drank that.
I was
and the
perfectly
next thing
fine.
There's like fucking champagne out there. It's
we
like,
went to
what's going on, dude?
We went to dinner, and I think I had. How long were we there? A couple hours. I probably had 3 or 4 beers.
Yeah, but bro, I had 4 or 6 bottles
you just
of sake.
kept doing the sake.
I love sake.
I think I maybe had 2 sake shots because like you shoved them in my face.
Well, and even that, it's
which
like
is fine.
They're not really like liquor shots, but they're maybe a little more. They're kind of like shooting wine, I guess.
No worries. So I was fine. I felt perfectly. I felt satiated. Had a nice dinner. I didn't drink too much. Then we went back to the Omni, and so in the Omni in Atlanta, there's a sports bar called Draft.
Cheers. Draft Top.
It's a large sports bar in the
great hotel, just a large hotel bar,
but bigger than this.
Yeah,
I mean, big, very big. Indoor, outdoor, and everybody sort of congregated there at the end of every night. And I don't know, like I did buy a bottle of champagne because Rivers wanted champagne.
Oh, there we go. Now the truth comes out.
But Rivers wanted a glass of champagne.
Champagne is not what put me over the top. It was a tequila shot.
I didn't buy tequila shots. But Rivers wanted champagne. I owed her a drink because I bought a round, and she wanted champagne, and they didn't have it. So I got a bottle and then just asked for like 8 glasses. So we just poured, and everybody had a glass of champagne.
It was a bit of a sneaky night. I did not expect to get.
And I did not drink. I did hand you my champagne, so you then drank my champagne.
Oh, that's maybe what I'm thinking of. You didn't hand me tequila.
I did not have a tequila shot. But anyway, I had people texting me on Thursday morning like, "Oh my God, T-Bob is just embarrassing himself with how much he's talking about being drunk and they're still drunk and what."
Nah, dude, that's kind of my,
No, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. But I'm like, I didn't hear it. I didn't know. So it was a bad night.
Oh no, we went into it. It wasn't a bad night, but it was a
bad morning.
It was no. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't feel great. It was a sneaky night, a brownout night, where you think you're keeping it straight. I've been keeping it straight all weeks of media days. I didn't do any karaoke. I thought I'd be fine. And then next thing I know, I'm waking up at 6 o'clock, no alarm set, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm kind of like, what's going on? And then I'm looking at my text messages, and I guess at some point I started texting Chris Doring, like Lord of the Rings songs. And I was like, you fucking bitch. You don't know shit about this. I'll beat your ass. And I was just texting him different Lord of the Rings songs and talking about Rings of Power.
Will you read the text you sent Chris Doring?
Yeah. So sure.
I found out about this on the ride to the airport the next day, and you were reading the text message that I guess you sent to Doring, who, by the way.
I'll read it verbatim.
So Doring we all love Chris Doring. He's just an awesome.
He's so sexy
awesome
so
dude.
Cool.
50 years old and
beautiful.
And shredded. Yeah.
So I texted him.
He's a unit. Yeah.
Anyway, I texted him a Rings of Power song that I've never heard before, and I said, dude, I literally couldn't stand off the toilet. I was shutting IB when this beat dropped off. You aren't about this, sure. You're a little bitch ass that I will pick up. Then I texted him the Council of Elrond song, and I said, you're a little bitch about the boys. I can't read this next part. But basically,
why wouldn't you read that?
No. Even I have some lines.
No, you don't.
Drawn. But yeah, man. Look, man. It is what it is. Okay, we've all been there. My life is an open book. I live a very honest life, and you know what, Matt? It was all worth it in the end. When after 8 hours of fucking traveling, we get off the plane, and some girl comes up to us and says, "Hey." And points to you.
Not
says,
exactly how it happened.
Is that your dad or your agent?
Context matters. Because the bone to pick is you're like, oh, they're these OTB fans. Let's be very clear. The old man was following me on Twitter, which is how he knew we were getting off the plane.
Oh, no, dude. I don't think those young girls knew about OTB either. So I literally think that they just, saw them talking to us.
It was middle-aged couple, like 50s, and 2 young girls. We're dazed because we've been on a plane for 9 hours.
Fucking awful. And I had to take so much Dramamine to not feel nauseous. I was like half asleep the entire time.
So we get off the plane, and were like just completely like we see Alondra who's there. It's like why are
shout out
you?
Alondra.
I mean, you're just like
going to Austin.
It just didn't. The world didn't make sense in that moment. It was just a fog. And this guy comes right up to me and starts talking to me. Never introduced, like, he's like, oh, he just like I'm supposed to know he's the guy that's been tweeting me and shit while I'm on a plane for 9 hours. Anyway,
they were hammered. They'd been stuck at the airport for a while.
Exactly. All of them were drunk because they were waiting for 4 hours for the plane we were on. We were leaving Atlanta. We're flying around New Orleans because there was a storm. We're running out of fuel. They divert us to Houston. We sit on the damn jetway for 2 hours.
The pilot's timed out.
Then they had to get so then they send us back to. It's basically a 9-hour travel day. We get off the plane, so these people come up to us. So anyway, so we're taking pictures, and then like these two younger who were also blitzed, and apparently they were going on a bachelorette party, and like I guess how did they recognize or know you?
They didn't recognize me. They saw the middle couple talking to us.
So they assumed
I was a football player. She
Got it.
thought I had just signed with LSU. At one point, I had to be like, no, I'm 33. I played like 10 years ago.
so then I'm talking to the middle-aged couple, and I turn, and then the young girl's like, so is that your dad or your agent? I'm like, like after this day. I'm like, get your drunk ass on the plane. And you know what? I even gave her a Venmo tip. It's like buy the bride a drink thing.
Okay, but we
gave her a
She
fucking
was
tip.
technically the bride's best friend.
I don't give a shit.
We gave the bride a tip, though. That was a cool thing, little Venmo QR code on the chat.
I've seen that before.
Anyway, whatever. It was a very fun day. SEC Media Days was fun. I think that like news story-wise, I didn't find it terribly interesting. I mean, Beamer was charismatic. Eli Drinkwitz is always good for a soundbite or two.
He's terrible.
What, like a coaching or?
He's desperate to get attention, so he's going the Dan Mullen route, and it's not going to end well for him.
But will it not end well because he's going that route, or will it not end well because he's trying to do it at Missouri? Because he's, at Missouri.
Gary Pinkel got Missouri to 2 SEC championship games.
Pinkel!
Anyway.
He had, who's the badass receiver? Greenwood? Elijah Greenwood? No.
Oh, no. DJ, he transferred.
I thought he was so good, dude. I don't remember. But anyway.
Initials.
Dorial
Green Beckham.
Dorial Green Beckham. That dude was a
DGB.
dog
Dorial
in
Green
college,
Beckham. Got it. It's still up there, bro.
Yeah, no.
It's got to shake it loose every now and again.
Trust me, Matt. Your strength is pulling random old college football box scores, names, teams, games. You have a freaky amount of random college football knowledge.
My friend, my guy who's best man at a wedding calls it the steel trap. He calls my brain the steel trap.
Yeah, because it's
strange the things that I do remember. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a toilet so full of shit.
Well, technically you flush the toilet, so it's just water in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing a bit. I'm just doing a joke.
What joke?
That your brain's full of shit.
I don't get it.
Oh, well, steel trap.
Doesn't make sense.
Keep up, dude. I can't you want me to just read you the entire thing? Like, you need me to explain it piece by piece?
I guess when you don't make sense.
Unbelievable.
You're the worst.
DGB, last I checked, played tight end for the Browns. Let's see what Dorial Green Beckham's doing. Okay, Matt, so other things I find interesting.
By the way, I'll also tell you another reason why you're not good at branding and promoting.
Yeah.
How did you not fucking say Donaldsonville Glass and Body when I said DGB?
Oh, DGBauto.com.
How many fucking times do I have to promote your fucking sponsors for you?
That's why you're a good friend, dude. DGBauto.com.
Fuck outta here.
You cannot leave me hanging right now, dude.
You know what's so funny?
Uh-huh.
You know what I do love? The video whenever I was like, bro, that's a great point from Scone and Tea or Whiskey and Wine. Yeah. I was like, bro, great point. I was going to give you a high five. And you're like, yeah. I totally was like, no.
I like the clip where
that's the one, dude, you can only pull that one out like once every 3 years when you're least suspecting.
I like the clip where I was talking about edging myself all day. I think that might have been after the A&M touchdown.
I don't remember that. I don't think that was actually on air. I think maybe that was off air.
Do we want to talk, because it's not, okay, look. LSU camp. We kind of talk about it. All the battles up for grabs.
You know what? Let's do this.
Camp?
No, let's do this.
Hey, by the way, put your questions in.
We've got 17.
Let's
do this.
Getting to them. I'm logging them. So put them in there.
Let's
do
this.
You can answer.
We've got 17 minutes left.
Yeah.
Let's just go questions.
Okay.
Look, Saints are in camp. LSU reported today. They start tomorrow. So depending on when you're listening or watching this, let's just go questions the rest of the way. Jordan Simpson, thanks for watching. Stephen Major, appreciate y'all. Quentin Brakebill. Kerry Hughes, Dustin Cruel, appreciate y'all for watching. Drop your questions. Let's get to it to wrap up.
All right. Let me just do one more quick scroll and make sure I didn't miss any here.
Dustin Blanchard, Brennan McGlynn, what's up? What's up, Brennan?
I don't think I missed any. So
Right,
if I did though, just put them in and we'll get to them. Okay, here we go. First question is BL asks, should a guy who talking about Trevor Penning, should a guy who is fighting for a job, no pun intended, be getting kicked out of practice? I love the juice, but I'd love more for him to win the job. I think he's asking like from the coaching perspective. Do you kick that guy out? Look, I love what Penning's doing. I think they maybe get him to maybe dial back a little bit, but
no shot.
I don't think they're upset at him at all. I think it's always been who he is. I think that's why they drafted him there. And I think that the only reason why he got kicked out is because it was maybe like the third day in a row. And at a certain point, coaches will get pissed off if they can't accept it every day. They can't accept a fight from the same person every single day.
It was less that it was 3 days. It was more that it was like a full 60, 90 seconds to get everybody off each other. But listen.
Oh, so I actually haven't seen the most recent fight video.
There isn't video of it.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, and anytime the entire team gets involved, that's when the coach gets fucking pissed.
But I'll tell you this. If you haven't yet, go watch the Open to AFR to Thursday. Go watch my Open today. I was very theatrical with it.
Oh, look at you.
But in summary, Trevor Penning is who he is because he will forever be trying to prove his worth.
Yeah.
And I gave the example of Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the unquestioned GOAT, the greatest that's ever played the games, won 7 Super Bowls. No one denies that he is the greatest football player that has ever lived. He started a production company this year. You know what he called it? 199 Productions.
I mean, exactly.
Because he was the 199th draft pick.
Exactly.
Forever and ever, that is the thing that will always fuel his fire.
Bro, Hester will never let go of being like a 2-star and being like the last person in the class.
Whatever.
He's a living fucking Louisiana legend.
Michael Jordan used to, on The Last Dance, would make up shit to be angry at guys. Whatever fuels you. And Trevor Penning was a skinny kid who looked like a kicker, only gets a Northern Iowa offer, and now, bro, every time he's lining up against somebody, with Senior Bowl, he's fucking throwing around that kid from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Now he's against his teammates. You know what he is, dude? He is the offensive line version of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. He's the guy he is the guy who, when he's on your team, you fucking love him. If he's not on your team, you fucking hate him. That's who he is, and I'm glad he's on my team.
There's no better feeling than triggering someone into getting a personal foul, and he would have gotten Payton Turner called
no doubt
for a personal foul. He would have gotten JT Gray
called for
a personal foul.
Carl Granderson punched him in the face mask.
I love it, dude.
Punched him.
Was that Granderson? I thought it was
98,
Turner.
98.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was Turner.
I think it was Turner.
Okay, it was Turner. Dude. Oh, Granderson's 96. That's right. So.
But yes, you're right. He has a chip on his fucking shoulder.
Do you realize that? Do you remember Michael Thomas punched Chauncey in practice?
And CD Deuce beat the shit out of him, apparently.
I mean, that's what this, the dude from the Bears who got triggered and punched Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in a game, he got ejected. When you live in people's brains.
Chauncey snatched his mouthpiece. That's like snatching someone's chain. I've never seen that shit before, dude. That's so disrespectful. It's unbelievable. But dude, Michael Thomas, the Thomas story is crazier because, they got into it on the field, but Thomas came at him in the locker room. Yeah. And that's when Chauncey's like, nah, fam. I'm a Florida goon. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Ohio kid.
And he beat the shit out of him. It's crazy. Okay,
so I love Penning.
Next. I love Penning as well, man. T-Bob, do you still hate Les Miles? No, not at all. I recognize that he was the architect of some of the best, teams and my friends and years of my life. I just don't think he was a very good on-the-field coach, ironically. I think that was his worst part. Ask Matt, what does FSU look like this year, specifically against LSU? Good that you said ask Matt, because I don't know shit about FSU right now.
Good timing, too, because I had a Florida State beat writer on AFR today to look at Florida State. Quarterback Jordan Travis, they're established there. They're not very deep at receiver. They did bring in a kid from Oregon, Michael Pittman, they're basically trying to find receivers, which if you're LSU and you kind of have some question marks at corner and in the secondary, it's kind of good that Florida State doesn't really have a dynamic passing game. Defensively, they played okay at the end of last year. They got a transfer edge rusher who might be their best transfer of this class. But, I just look at Florida State, and they were a team a year ago who went 5-7. And if you remember how their season started, they played Notre Dame to start the season in Tallahassee, and it's a game where they blew it. They lost in overtime. They blew it.
Like, they should have had it.
They blew it. They tied it late. And Notre Dame was up big. Florida State tied it, should have won. Notre Dame went to overtime. Florida State ended up blowing it. Notre Dame wins in overtime. And then a week later, they lost to Jacksonville State.
Yes, and that motherfucker proposed to his girlfriend still after the game. We were talking about that the other day. Look, first off, you cannot propose after a loss. You abso-fucking-lutely cannot propose when you are a Florida State player and you lose to Jacksonville State. Like, what is that about? I thought that was unbelievable. That blew my mind. That's my only memory of that game.
Yeah, so I don't remember that at all.
That's why Caroline Fitton knows way more about the SEC.
Is there anything that defines our on-air relationship more than what just happened?
Yeah, that's very true.
Next.
Jordan Haydad asks Scone T, is Bama going to be a lot better in Death Valley this year coming off that rebuilding year? Look, I know Saban, a lot of people are like, how could it be a rebuilding year or so good? It was a rebuilding year for Alabama. Like, they had more close calls. They weren't as dominant. It's just that they're so far and above that they still made the natty. And then when they have Bryce Young, which, helps make up for a lot. But, they almost lost to Auburn. That's a rebuilding year. A bad Auburn team.
Almost lost to LSU?
Yeah, almost lost to LSU. LSU shut them down. So
they had 7 rushing yards against LSU.
No, that's the terrifying part about Alabama is that it was a rebuilding year last year.
It's also the depressing part about LSU because they played Alabama so well.
Yeah.
They had 10 guys drafted. That's why I know you're going to recoil, but it's because
No, bro. No, well, we're not going to.
Dude was a shitty coach. Anyway.
You son of a bitch.
He's a shitty coach.
Kobe, I said, you fucking, you.
Are you denying that he's a shitty coach?
You're just pushing your tits together trying to entice me right now. I'm not going to do it, dude.
He's a shitty coach.
Kobe, ask Scone and T, what do y'all think should be the point spread for FSU versus LSU game?
Field goal. You can look at early lines. It's 3.5.
I was going to say 6, but that's
3.5.
No, but that's too large. That's too large. I don't know why I started to say that. I would have said 4.5 after thinking. But also I think my LSU bias is probably showing.
It's 3. Consensus
Jordan
3 right
Haydad, I know this answer, asks, what's Ha'omanawanui's
LSU 3,
first?
by the way.
Jordan Haydad asks, what's Ha'omanawanui's first name?
Michael.
Yep. Lars Corville, what are the must-win games for Brian Kelly's first season?
I don't know that I look at it that way. I look at it more like...
I kind of feel like Florida State's a must-win, dude.
So, okay.
If you're going to hit your win totals that you want to hit.
To be very clear, I kind of recoil when I hear must-win.
Oh.
Okay? Must-win means, if you don't win this, there are serious consequences.
Like you're fired.
Or your season ends. There's no such thing.
Not when you got a 10-year, $100 million contract.
Bingo. I would think. Here's what I would like to see. Okay, I want you to win all 4 non-conference games, that means Florida State.
Yep.
Win those 4, and I want you to go 4-4 in the conference. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You're going to lose to Bama at home. I think you need to beat Tennessee at home. Beat the Mississippi schools, and then win one of Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, A&M on the road. You go 1-3 in those, you're 8-4.
Yeah,
I think that's your roadmap. And if you lose at home to Tennessee or lose at home to Ole Miss, then you need to win one of those other road games that I talked about.
Yeah, you might 2-2 those road games.
You could, but you could also do the same with your home. You could lose to Ole Miss and Tennessee.
You're just looking at the schedule, and it's you don't really feel great against anyone here.
This is what you absolutely know about LSU's schedule. You're going to be favored in your 3 non-conference games at home. You're going to be an underdog heavily against Alabama.
Yeah.
The other 8 games on your schedule, every one of those point spreads is going to be within a field goal one way or the other.
Okay, so actually that was the most interesting part about SEC Media Days, was who is the 3rd best team in the SEC.
Well, you didn't ask me the question, but that would have been my answer.
That's what I should have said.
That was my answer. I mean, there was no consensus. East or West. East or West. And I'll tell you that the team that I came away a little more bullish on was Ole Miss because of their schedule. There's a very legitimate shot Ole Miss starts 8-0 because of now their November is brutal. But there's a legitimate shot they start 8-0. And the flip side of it is, as much as people think Arkansas might take the next step, their schedule is literally the hardest schedule in college football this year.
Oh, is it really?
On strength of schedule.
I knew it was awful.
Yeah, it's the hardest in college football. So I don't think they take a step. I think at best they're an 8-4 football team because of their schedule.
Brandon McGlynn, what are your guys' reactions to Deshaun Watson's suspension? I think it's obviously light. I think it's interesting that Sue Robinson, the judge, the arbitrator in the case, said, they reviewed 5 cases. She said that she found him guilty of sexual harassment and assault in 3 of them, but then she called it nonviolent. I don't really know, it's still mental. I think it's light. I think I completely understand why Roger Goodell and the NFL are now punching back and going to try to appeal for an indefinite suspension, because it has been a really bad look in terms of the campaign that the NFL has been on to try to prove that that the NFL cares about women. And I get all the criminal court case stuff and everything.
Do you?
But criminal court, well, in terms of him, both grand juries find him innocent of crimes.
Not innocent. They failed to bring charges.
Okay, failed to bring charges. Excuse me. But the point is, criminal court kind of goes out the window in the NFL nowadays. I'm not saying that it can't factor in, but the NFL doesn't actually have to deal with that. They've already set a precedent for that, and their own investigation, the NFL said it should be a year. And so the arbitrator says, I just don't really understand how Sue Robinson landed on 6 games. With what she wrote. Because she wrote a lot of damning stuff. She literally wrote a rule that he can't get a private massage ever.
The longest suspension under the personal conduct policy has been 10 games, and that was for a player with multiple domestic violence instances.
Oh, so that's why she drew the line with the violence.
So you're looking at context. So
I don't know. I think that's a very problematic line to draw.
Listen, here's the deal. The thing that I can't get past is you had 2 grand juries who failed to indict Deshaun Watson. I wish you knew how easy it is to get an indictment. An indictment is only a suggestion that there is enough evidence to suggest that it's worth further pursuing. That's all an indictment is.
Okay,
hold on. The fact that there was no indictment suggests that there was no evidence whatsoever to even further pursue charges. 2 different grand juries. I can't get past that with this. And I've done this job long enough to have seen the Duke lacrosse case and enough shit where public opinion goes one way and it's just a snowball that keeps going and everyone assumes guilt publicly. Hold on.
Huge key difference between Duke lacrosse and this.
There is no fucking difference.
The number of claimants, the number of people claiming to be victimized is absolutely the biggest difference.
And
it is, if you look at the rates.
And what's to say that it's not a situation where you have opportunistic people jumping on board? I'm not saying that happened.
I'm not saying that can't be the case, but that is you have to admit that's a statistical long shot.
I don't agree with that. And this is why.
Wow,
dude. Do you watch TV at night where all you see are these fucking asbestos class action lawsuit cases where people just try to get paid? I'm not saying that's what happened here. This is why I don't want to talk about this, because this isn't why people come to sports. I'm not saying Deshaun. I am not exonerating Deshaun Watson. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm saying that I'm willing to hear both sides. I have seen too many instances where public opinion fucking crushes people and it ends up damaging, ruining their lives. And the opposite is also true, where celebrities get off easy when the letter of the law would have been levied heavier against people. That's not our job to talk about this. The thing that I've said consistently is I only care about Week 16. The Saints play in Cleveland on Christmas Eve, and if Deshaun Watson's there, that fundamentally affects that game. That's what I care about.
The only thing that I will say that is different to me in this case is that if you look at the kind of statistical rate that we've established with which people lie about these sort of cases, it would be an infinitesimal chance that all these people are lying. It is a statistical improbability, almost impossibility, that all these people. Hell, Sue, the fucking arbitrator found him guilty in 3 of the 5 cases she reviewed. But whatever, fuck Deshaun Watson. I hope he gets suspended the whole year. I'm fucking glad he didn't come to the Saints, and I didn't do the mental gymnastics to try to cheer for that man. Thibodeau, ask Scone to T. Do y'all think it's possible?
Waffles.
Oh, now this is what I talked about all morning. Do y'all think it's possible Sean Payton retired because he knew they would get caught and he didn't want to be punished like the Dolphins only heard a bounty gate? No. I don't think he retired because he knew he was going to get caught. I'm fucking saying he retired because he wanted to go coach Tom Brady in Miami. It has taken away a lot of the sincerity for me personally. And it may be unfair to Sean Payton because if it's not true, that sucks. Well, we kind of know it's true. He talked to his agent. I don't know what Payton knew, right? But to me, this whole Miami story, which is wildly huge, Matt, and ESPN barely talks about it, which is interesting. Is it because Schefter got it wrong? I don't know why, but...
That's not Brady thing?
Yes, but to me, it taints that Sean Payton press conference. And I remember, like, listening to that riding my bike around the neighborhood for 2 hours, and it was emotional. And I was like, you know what, I take him at face value. This is a man who's tired. And granted, I think these things are still true, right? He can be tired, he can want to break, but he can also want to go coach Tom Brady for $20 million a year in Miami. The tampering that Stephen Ross got found guilty for, in Payton's case, took place before he announced his retirement. So it kind of taints it all to me a little bit, man. When you talk about, I don't know what's next, I just need a break. I kind of think he wanted to get to Miami, make $20 million a year, and coach Tom Brady, which, I mean, who can blame him? But it still doesn't, you can't really take his retirement at face value anymore, especially now he's going to be the Cowboys coach next year.
The Dolphins hired a coach a week after Sean Payton's retirement.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That shit moves quickly. The tampering could have happened in that week.
No, the tampering happened in January with Payton.
Okay.
That Don Yee was talking to Payton.
That's on the NFL?
Yes, that was on the ESPN report.
Okay.
The tampering had happened in the January with Payton. And then the Dolphins legally asked to speak with him, and the Saints said no. And then they hired I like him. What's his name? From San Francisco.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
McDaniel.
McDaniel. There we go.
Do you know who Jacques Cormery is?
Yeah, Jacques Cormier's a great member of the chat.
Okay. Fuck him. He said Moscona has done this job long enough to think that Mike Tomlin was interested in leaving the Steelers to coach LSU. T-Bob, open your mind. Jacques Cormery, fuck you in your face. Ryan Clark was on the show, and it was an over-the-top bit where Ryan adamantly said he doesn't know if Tomlin has any interest. And then I said, everybody put it on Twitter. RC said Mike Tomlin. It was an over-the-top bit. You're a fucking moron, and that's how stupid shit gets spread on the internet. Fuck you in your face. I never want to meet you because if I do, I might throw an elbow in your fucking ear.
Hey, Jacques, just remember, if you take the bump,
fuck that guy. The fact that you pander to fuckheads like that is so annoying. Like, that guy is a fuck. Fuck him. Seriously. Fuck that guy in his face.
No, I get it.
Why do you pander to these assholes?
I don't pander. People that piss me off.
No, he's an asshole.
No,
fuck
Jacques
that guy.
Nice to me.
Yeah, but he's an asshole, so fuck him.
But he's nice to me.
Because you pander to them.
No, but guys who are assholes
to me. You pander to the 8 fucking people that comment. Fuck that guy.
No. If guys that are assholes to me, I don't like. I can name multiple people in the chat that I feel like you do about. Jacques is not one of them. For me personally, I get it, dude. If you talk shit to you, fuck it, dude. I feel you, dude. Christopher Lacombe, does Brian Kelly carry on the Big Cat tradition? I hope not.
No way.
Fuck Big Cat, dude. Like, maybe during camp. Maybe during camp, I can be cool with Big Cat. Big Cat during the season is fucking mindless and stupid.
Dude, Tommy Moffitt was on yesterday on AFR, and he kind of told us.
Tommy's got big things coming, dude.
I know. Moffitt Methods huge. You talked a lot about it. He talked about 2011, or I guess 12, preparation for Bama, like how Les just ran y'all into the.
It was fucking
ground.
insane, dude.
Like
it was a camp. It was a fall camp.
He was like, by the time they got to the game, they had nothing.
I'll never forget Blackwell, fucking Will, who was the All-American that year. He fucking swiped his card like, I got a concussion or something, and I'm fucking out there taking like 80,000 reps, dude. During that camp, I did 2 reps at left guard, 2 reps at center, 2 reps at right guard, 2 reps out. A 3-to-1 ratio of in versus out. And then I didn't play a goddamn play.
You're knocking me off my chair,
I didn't play a goddamn play. What the fuck is that about, dude? They fucking abused me in practice, and I thought I was going to play. They didn't play a fucking play.
That's funny.
Justin Blanchard asked Scone T, how reliant on the pass game will Denbrock, will this Denbrock offense be? How many carries should the running backs expect to get? Oh, that's like a hard question to answer. I mean, Matt, you probably actually watched more Denbrock offense than I have, to be honest.
What was the question?
How reliant on the passing game will Denbrock's offense be? How many carries a game should the running backs expect?
I don't know. I'm fascinated to see who wins the quarterback job. I think that'll be a big determinant.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think if Miles wins the job,
you're going to be more passive.
You're going to be a little more balanced. I think if Jaden wins, I mean, I think you'll run it more, but I think he will run it more. Same with Garrett. I mean, both those guys will have design run plays and will probably be more likely to tuck and run. So I just think, it really depends on who ultimately is pulling the trigger for your offense.
Captain Crotty asks Scone T, next time I visit Oliver Twist, If I love whiskey and bourbon, what should I try? Oh, and here's the big dick, flop it out on the table. Money, not a problem. So he's saying
What should he
money's not an issue if he's here. And you have always said that Oliver Twist has the best whiskey selection in the city.
The easy answer is to go for the Pappies if they have any right now. I'm looking to see. I mean, it's probably on one of the back shelves, but I mean that's what you have to go for. I mean, you got to go for any of the Van Winkles that they have. I mean, I know they've got the Rip 10 and the Lot B. I'm looking at those right there. They may have.
So how much is like a pour of Pappy?
Well, it depends. So you have like the Rip 10, which is 10-year, the Lot B, which is the 12-year. Then you got 15 and 20 and 23.
So give me a 10 and then give me the most expensive. Like, what's the cheapest? What's the most expensive?
It varies depending on where you go. For the Rip 10, they probably charge you like $70 an ounce. For the Lot B, you'd probably be pushing closer to 100.
Like what I pour?
No, an ounce is an ounce.
Oh, shit. So an ounce is more than I pour? Or less than I pour?
Yes, less than you pour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you pour up to fucking here.
So I'm like 2 ounces?
You're probably like 3 ounces. What you pour. Like a third of what you pour.
Damn, for $70?
Yeah.
And then what about the expensive shit?
I mean, I guess it depends if you're talking about like, I mean, I've never seen 30 year on a menu anywhere, but like if you were going to try to get a Pappy 15 or a 20, I mean, you're going to spend, it'd be like, for the 20, maybe like 150 an ounce, something like that. Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're going to go up there, yeah.
Boy,
yeah.
Damn. Last one here. LA Gamer says, Matt was on fire for his intro to AFR today. Was quite entertaining.
It was fun. I talked about Trevor Penning. LA Gamer also said Matt never responds to them on the chat. That's because Matt doesn't open the chat during AFR. Literally, it is never open during my show. If you want to comment on my show, there's many ways you can do it. It will never be anything I pay attention to ever.
I will say in Matt's defense here, and I hate to do this, but when you are hosting solo, it is harder to engage with the chat. It really is.
Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't engage with the chat.
Well,
there's no benefit to that.
I'll
tell you this straight up right now. And I'll tell you why, honestly. So, clearly, like, they shit on me. They don't like me. I'm not losing sleep over it.
No, I think a lot of people like you, dude.
Maybe so, but that's fine. I mean, there are a lot of people, just not the eight people that sit there and comment on that all day.
I think you're wrong there.
Well, I wouldn't know because I don't read it. But here's the point. When you do a show, and like you said, when you're solo, when I'm on air during the show, I'm not reading any comments of anybody because I'm on the air. When I get into a break, I've got 3 minutes. And that 3 minutes is spent reviewing my prep for the next segment. Do we have a guest? What my next live read is?
Yeah.
Do I need video associated with the segment or the live read? I might have 30 seconds or a minute in that break to look at comments, text, whatever it is. Like, I'm not going to sift through a mountain of bullshit to find the one thing that might actually be beneficial. That's why I don't. So.
Yeah, that's fair, man.
Anyway.
I mean, like I said, it's way easier when you're two-person.
But I'll tell you, the reason I went off on your boy is because the one thing that I just fucking loathe more than anything, like I genuinely don't care if you like my show, don't like my show, like me. I don't care. Like it's just like anything, like music or movies or TV or whatever. Like no one's ever gonna like everything, right? I mean, it's there's people who fucking think the Beatles suck, whatever. Like,
yes.
It's just you can't do this job and care if people like or don't like. Ultimately, the market decides, and that's what it is. But ultimately, what I hate is when everything we do is recorded. Like, every fucking thing we do, there is a record of everything we do and say. When people go on and say, you said this, and you misquote me, fuck you in your face. That's why I went off on that guy. Like, there is a record of what I said, what I did, and, like, when you go and perpetuate bullshit, that's what triggers me. Like, don't tell me I said or did something I didn't say.
I am not taking a side here because I don't know what anybody said or heard. But I will say, when you get most angry, it is when you believe that what somebody is saying is contrary to what you have said.
Motherfucker. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I was lying.
No.
That is what triggers me.
That is when you get most angry. 100%. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
Bro, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I'll fucking tell you I'm wrong.
All right, let's end in on one little question here. How do you guys feel about Ricky Collins? Olivia wants to know.
I love Ricky Collins. Small sample size, but I saw him play last year against Catholic, and it's one of those things where, and I'll, again, to what your boy's name is, Jock, whatever the fuck. You want to go check me? Check me. Yeah, check me, Jock. I'm not a scout. I don't watch huddle highlights. I'm not going to pretend to like I'm not watching dudes drop step in and release time. I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not putting out star ratings. I have no idea. Don't care. But I did call high school football games for 10 years. And when you do that, a lot of dudes look like they're in slow motion. And then there's always the guy that you could tell, oh, he's different. And where I called games, obviously, there was a lot of college guys that came through, man. If it was Zach Oliver who went to Northwestern, or Geis or Clyde. I mean, there's been dudes, and then obviously some of the guys I got to see, like Eddie Lacy and Kelvin York. I mean, this area in the States produced a ton of great talent. So, like, you can spot it when it's different, and that kid's different. Like, he's just, I mean, when you're 6'3", 190, you can spin it, you're athletic, and I'm going to tell you, in that game, 3 times Woodlawn got down, and all 3 times he led him immediately on an answer drive to tie it, and then ultimately won the game. Like, the it thing you look for in a quarterback, he's got it. I don't know why he's rated where he is. I just don't care about ratings, or what I'm telling you is that dude.
Bro, if you call 10 years of high school football, that's an informed opinion.
What I'm telling you is, like, that dude can play major college football. And if he's a Baton Rouge kid that loves the home state school and wants to be here and win, like, I'll take that dude. Like, I will. LSU took their shot on Rashada and Moore and some of the big-time national guys. You were never going to get Archer Holstein. But I think with Holstein, there's probably a little something there also with Walker Howard. Remember, Holstein was backing up Walker at St. Thomas More, left and went to Zachary.
Yeah, you're trying to clown me when I was talking about how awesome those storylines as they head into college. So they might be in control of Alabama and LSU and they meet up in the future. It's fucking awesome, dude. Holstein's on the revenge trail.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
but I also don't think Eli was ever interested in coming. So I think if you're LSU, you took your shot on your big name prospects and it didn't work out. Okay, well, I mean, I went and looked this up. I mean, Mac Jones was prospect like 399 in the country. Matt Flynn was like 198.
Yeah.
Cardale Jones was just inside the top 400. I mean, quarterbacks that won that. What was Stetson Bennett was a walk-on. I mean,
good point, dude.
There are dudes like Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young, and dude, Burrow was in the 300s. Burrow,
really?
I looked it up, man. Burrow,
Mr. Ohio, though. That's crazy.
Joe Burrow was nationally ranked as the number 280 overall prospect in the country.
Wow.
So my point
top
is,
300 is good, but still but not for what Joe Burrow is.
Right, but now we're splitting hairs when you're talking about that. But it's like, my point is, you don't have to have a 5-star number 1 quarterback in the country to win at the highest level. I mean, you got to find a quarterback that fits your system, what you want to do, that's a winner, that can develop and all that sort of shit. And I like him a lot. Like, I hope it sounds like he's flipping to LSU. I hope he does. I'd be pumped, because then you're looking at a really stocked quarterback room for the future, where you got Garrett, you got Walker, you'd have Ricky Collins. I mean, I'm pretty excited about it, man. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. And also, I mean, ideally you want a good quarterback in every class. Maybe not a great quarterback, but like, you need a quarterback in every class. And now with the transfer portal, that's probably got lessened a bit. But yeah, I would be pumped if Ricky Collins committed to LSU. Want to do any more? Are we done?
You got any more questions?
Yeah, we got more questions.
All right, let's go rapid fire.
All right, here we go. Wait, there was another recruiting one. What happened? It was about Shelton Sampson. Do you think Shelton Sampson comes here? I don't know. I don't follow recruiting either. I did like the strategy of LSU getting all the people who had left and come back to all tweet Shelton stays. It was like Joe Fouché, Brooks. It was like all the people who went to find their fortunes elsewhere and come back. Like 8 guys all tweeted Shelton stays.
I don't know what he's going to do. Like, I genuinely, I've even asked people around Catholic, they don't know. I mean, there's some sense that he wants to leave home. If he does, that sucks. I mean, if he does, I hope it's Florida State.
That's a real thing, though, dude. I wanted to leave home. Like, and granted, it was a little easier for me maybe because I had so many Louisiana connections, but I did not want to go to school in Georgia.
But I don't know. I genuinely, like, please don't read anything into. I have no idea what Shelton Sampson is going to do. There's some people of opinion that he wants to leave home. If he does, I hope he goes to Florida State. Gabe Fertitta, who was the coach at Catholic, is an analyst at Florida State.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That would make sense. I just don't want to see him at A&M or Bama.
Fuck no.
So, I mean, I would love it if he picks LSU, obviously. And most of the crystal balls have him at LSU, by the way.
Do you think Cesar Reese is going to get it together this year? I don't know, but I do love Jari Evans being there.
It's a huge year for it. Look, I mean, this is the year where the Saints ultimately decide if they're going to, are they going to pick up his fifth-year option? So it's a massive year for him. And I kind of look and the optimist in me says, but he came in a COVID year and was playing out of position. The
COVID year is the big element for me.
COVID year, and he was going to be a center. He's a center, and they moved him to guard because McCoy was so good. It was Breeze's final year.
Start in the NFL at a position you don't normally start at, but you can't actually train during it.
And so last year maybe was more of like a rookie year for him, I think. And so I'm curious to see if he takes a big leap this year. I'm optimistic, but I can't tell you that I truly can say definitively, he's going to be awesome.
And I always forget what people have paid attention to or not because we're so deep in the weeds. I didn't throw Jari Evans in there out of nowhere. He's in the Bill Walsh Diversity and Coaching Program, and so he is essentially a GA for the Saints this year.
Awesome. I love it.
And Jari Evans is a potential NFL Hall of Famer at guard. And a guy, where'd Jari Evans go to college? Not Towson. It was a small school, though.
Jari Evans with the Bloomsburg.
What the fuck?
Steel trap, bro.
And I know that's not Cesar Reeves. My point is Jari Evans had to learn to earn it in the NFL. And so, that's a great person to teach Cesar Reeves how to
You don't really understand the concept of rapid fire very well, do you?
Nope. Who's got more upside, Brennan or Daniels?
Daniels.
I think I'd agree with that.
Huh?
Ask us, am I the only one getting Richie Incognito vibes from pinning?
Yes.
I'm not getting Incognito vibes. That's it. Let's call it. I got to go work on my gaming PC, dude. I just got it booted up. I got to go make sure it's working.
Awesome. Good luck with that. Camp tomorrow. Smash the like button on your way out. We appreciate you for being here. Thanks to Oliver Twist. These people are awesome. Appreciate
Love
that for
y'all.
us every week.
Have a great night. Next week, we'll be back. Oh, rock, paper